still waiting on that invite here. Apologies for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe it was F1K who got pole position. A fantastic lap from them. ASAP Loggy was it in P2, and then we had the new driver Katja in P3, I believe. So yeah, it seems like yeah, it's gonna be a fun race. Hopefully we can get back in before the start.
I'm getting
We
those
need
invites as
to
quick as
reset
I
the lobby.
can.
Getting some news here, ladies and gentlemen, that we might be resetting the lobby. So not sure what the protocol is. So we will bring you the news as oh, so Captain VRG is someone who, yes, lobby reset, unfortunately, as we don't want anybody joining in. Well, this gives us an opportunity to go on a little bit of a break. Go grab yourself a drink or use the facilities or something like that. But yeah, if somebody can get the quality order, I think that'd be great. Can you go back in the stream and get the quality order here?
Yeah, I think I'm able to go pull that up for us so we're able to get that set.
Okay. We as we wait for the lobby to reset, we'll bring you back in shortly, guys. Hang on for a minute here, please. Okay. Uh,
in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 for you. Won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay right there. We had some technical issues, as well as some people joining in the lobby that should not be here. So, yeah, that was the reason why there was a delay for a little bit. But yeah, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. I'm Red Devil again. Fragley is with me. We've reset the lobby. We've gotten all the grid set for the race based on the results in qualifying, so we should be underway. So yeah, thank you for sticking around again, and hopefully this is gonna be a fun race, eh?
Yeah, hopefully the drivers can maybe give us a better race than what we were going to get before now because we got a whole restart. So it's kind of going to be a brand new spot. So I'm excited to see what these drivers got today. Um, it should be interesting to see where that top five is. They were all within that 129. So it's going to be a fast race. I think there is going to be I think there's going to be a lot of wheel to wheel this race. I think it might be a elbows out type of race. Keep your position, um, because track position on this lap is it's very important.
Oh, I think somebody restarted the lobby or started the race, so we're fire lights and away we go. Going into turn one, everybody gets out clean. Uh, Yeah, not a lot of action here. A little bit side to side from Entree and Sweens here, but everybody's underway. I don't know if everybody got enough time to put in their setups, though. Not sure who readied up, but M1K going into the first sector is already a second up on his time. Sean Boy making some advances here in the middle sector up to P10.
It looks like everybody got out pretty cleanly into that one, so we're all going to kind of come and see where these drivers come out after I feel like this first DRS. Once that hits up, I think we're going to start to see the drivers have to deal with that. So I'm excited to see how this is going to end up going.
Yeah, for sure. As we see, Ryu Joe has left the section again. You can please shoot him an invite. As we see here, BK looking to make the move on ASAP Loggy all over the back of the Mercedes driver. Razzle is also right behind ASAP and BK. Remember, there's no DRS on lap one, so let's see if he can get the move done just based on pure pace and ERS alone. ASAP Loggy does go a little bit conservative on the ERS. He is blinking. BK does make the move. It takes him up to P5. Surazzle also gets the move done on ASAP Loggy and double overtake on the Mercedes driver from Surazzle and BK. Sweens and Entree battling it out here for P7. Going side by side, both on those medium set of compound tires. Razzle making the move on BK. Not sure if BK does he have a missing wing or something? Not sure. He was grayed out for a little bit, but no. Looks like he is well and good for the moment. Let's see what tires everybody is on. Everybody is on the medium set of tires except VSC Paul and Hell and Scary Terry. Angel goes into the pits for a new set of hard tires. Uh, yeah, I think they should be still good for the end of the race though. As we see BK and ASAP Logi still fighting it out. ASAP Logi now does have the aid of the DRS. Takes himself back up into P5.
Yeah, that DRS is going to be a tricky one to defend, especially coming out. It's 3 DRS zones pretty much back to back to back. As you can see right there, BK is overtaking ASAP Logi in that DRS zone, flying straight past him. There's not much ASAP could have done right there.
As Katya is looking to make the move on with the Ferrari of Tin Man the Rowdy and catch up close to M1K. Setting the fastest lap is Razzle with a 32.2 on those medium set of compound tires. The V-Carb driver of Katya is now in P2 as Chui has joined back up again. Or Chu. We see a lot of moves. Yellows, though, in Sector 1. Not sure who that is. Entree, I believe, is missing a right wing end plate. Is now down in P17. And it's a VSC. Oh! M1K, though, is missing his whole front wing. Through the first sector, they had a moment, it looks like, and they are missing their front wing. They really need to go into the pits now for sure.
Yeah, that's a big one right there, a virtual. It's not a full safety car though, so I'm expecting that to be hopefully over by the end of this lap or the start of next. So it's unfortunate that some of those drivers are going to have to go in and get those repairs done right away.
Yeah, big losers out there on lap 3. Electric Entree with a missing right end plate, and M1K with a missing front wing, as Chu has left the section again. That is unfortunate. We can try and bring them back again. Hopefully they stick around this time. Also, predictions up, so we got one virtual already, so it's still looking like it's going to be under. As Gustavo gets a drive to, I was just about to say, hopefully nobody gets a speeding penalty or a drive-through under the safety car, but looks like Gustavo has fallen victim to that, as BK looking to make a move onto Razzle, but unfortunately no room there. GRS is going to be enabled. Katya now in the lead. First Grand Prix here in AM3 is leading the race by 1.6 seconds as M1K, Gustavo, and Entree, all three in the pits.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for some of those drive-throughs in those pits, but for those top 3 there leading the race, and it definitely looks like Timman and Razzle with BK, they're all right on back of each other, so I think it's going to be a quick, tight fight right between them.
As Scary Terry gets a 3-second time penalty. McRib on, I think, his first race in AM3 or in COS as well is up into P10. Let's look at the position changes, shall we? Katya up 2 positions. BK, another driver with 3 positions up. Sean Boy with 3. Widjay, the biggest gainer. No, Rui Chu is actually the biggest gainer with 6 positions. M1K, the biggest loser out of everybody with 15 positions down after starting on pole position, as Sean Boy makes a move on Sweens, now all out of the back of Ferrari of Widjay, as Razzle goes down the outside as well of Tin Man the Rowdy.
Yeah, looks like that's a real close fight going into that last turn right between Razzle and BK. That is, looks like they got 4 cars coming into turn 1, and then we got the Red Bull and Ferrari going wheel to wheel into those corners. Looks like everyone made it out, and it looks like the BK was able to hold that position in P2.
Terrible camera angle. BK, former 2-time AM3 champion, was in AM1 last season, but has decided to turn off line. So they are back in AM3 and back up into the leading positions for the Red Bull driver. His trusted teammate is also making moves. Sean Boyd up in P7, chasing down the Ferrari of Widjay. the leading pack are about 10 seconds behind this pack right here, down into P6. So there's a big gap forming between these drivers just after 5 laps. You can see some of the drivers really do have that pace.
Yeah, some of that top five right now, they're definitely flying. But Saudi's one of those tracks where I feel like when you got to defend, it will slow you down. And then with how long these DRS straights are, it really just takes a toll on that top or that front driver and that pack because they just got to be fighting, and that slows all drivers down below them. So I feel like that's how you get those packs forming. But we'll see if anybody's able to break out and maybe catch up to that top five. But it definitely looks like we've got a good race ahead of us with the top five.
Yeah, the battle for the second position is looking like it's going to heat up here as BK does lose a position out to Tin Mandarowdy, ASAP, Bloggy, and Razzle fighting it out there. ASAP Bloggy coming out on top for P4. This battle right here between these four drivers looks like that's going to go till the last lap. Sean Boy, though, has been able to make a move on Witjay and has slightly closed in on the top four. It was about 8 seconds. Now it's down to 7.5. Can the Red Bull of Sean Boy make a charge and fight with his teammate as we got Sector 1 yellows? I think it's Rainbow Demon. They have got going again. Krev Ham. Looks like they've lost a control position. They are now down in P16. They're getting a little bit loose on Sector 1, going back up. I think this is where the fight is, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I think.
I would possibly agree with that, but I feel like with how fast this track is, with already one virtual safety car, we just take one, that'll change the entire race. So hopefully these drivers can keep it clean and stay within each other, because you can see this top four right now. They are fighting for that P2 position right now. Very hard coming into that last corner. It still looks like Tinman is right there, but he's got the three of the other cars of the Mercedes, Kick, and the Ferrari right behind him.
Oh, BK getting a little bit loose there, running wide, gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for the Red Bull driver, as he gives up the position to the Ferrari of Tin Man. They are catching Kachi as well. The gap was about 2.2, 2.3 seconds to the top. Now it's down to one. As I say that, I think they're probably running a little bit low on the downforce here, so they are able to open that gap up, especially in Sector 1.
Yeah, I feel like in those the first two sectors, especially one with those kind of tight corners and everything that you've got to go through, it's important to have that traction. And then in that sector 3, if you're just smart with your ERS, you can kind of keep your pace with that.
Yeah, for sure. As we see these guys still continuing to fight it out. Witjay and Sean Boy also fighting here for P6. They are catching the top contenders though. BK does it make the move. Oh, 3 wide into that corner, and ASAP Logi into the wall. I think that's turn number 16, 20, yes, 22. Contact between Tin Man and ASAP, maybe? Not sure. Let's take a look at the replay. We just got a tiny glimpse of that. Yeah, we were on board with Sean Boy, and yeah, as you can see, I think 3 wide, not a good option there, as Tin Man the Rowdy and ASAP Logi made contact, and ASAP Logi is now down into P7 with a broken front wing. It's a virtual safety car, so we will put in our safety car overlay right here. A lot of people going into the pits. BK choosing to stay out. Katya, Tin Man the Rowdy, BSC Paul in Hell, Witjay, ASAP Logi, all of them choosing to go into the pits. The Red Bull drivers and Razzles choosing to stay out.
Yeah, I feel like during the virtual safety car, that's always a hard one to determine if you want to go in now or later. But with that virtual safety car kind of already over and they're back to racing speed, we'll see how that pans out with all the rest of those drivers getting onto a hard tire, which seems like that'll last them through the rest of the race tonight.
Yeah, looks like there was a mistake from Tim Mandarowdy because now they are 11 seconds behind Katya. So not sure what happened to the Ferrari driver. Let's see what tires these guys put on. I'm pretty sure they put on a set of hard tires. Crev Ham, the only one on the soft tires after the VSC. A very interesting strategy right there.
That is a very interesting strategy, but sometimes you got to risk it for the speed at the end, and maybe he's hoping for another safety car or something to come into the play into this race. I feel like once these cars start going to wheel, like we just saw, they're tight corners. There's not a lot of room for mistakes, so it will be interesting to see how this plays out. As you can see, too, in the top 1-2, we got BK and Sarazzle. And Sarazzle looks like he's right behind BK, looking just for that time to take that pass, but it's just not the time to do it in Sector 1, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. As we see Paul in Hell, I think the only driver probably started in the hards, if I'm not mistaken, has to now do 15, 6, 17 laps on those mediums, which is a tall ask, especially on Jeddah for the, I think it's C3 tires, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall see what happens whilst we get closer towards the end of the race. Top two still fighting at it. Katya coming all over the back of Chu. They have not been able to get back into the lobby, so unfortunately their AI is easy pickings. Now he has his teammate of Sweens ahead on those fresh hard tires. It should be a pretty easy ask unless Sweens just lets them through. All we have another yellow though. Is that Paul in Hell? No, Entree, I think.
I'm not sure why we're getting that yellow in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's Electric Entree. They're missing a right end plate. So, yeah, unfortunately for the McLaren, he has to make another trip into the pits. As we see the
Yeah, that
top.
is,
Yeah, sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying the top two continue to fight as Surazzle is slowly pulling away from the Red Bull of BK. Now, yeah, I think BK is able to pull him back though through that middle sector, through that first sector, and is now right over the back of the Kick Sauber driver.
Yeah, I believe these two are just going to be fighting DRS in those last two sectors pretty much the rest of this night. I feel like we're going to see a lot of change in that P1 position unless one of them can somehow pull over a second ahead, but we will see how this all ends up because it looks like they're coming into Sector 2 and looks like BK is catching up to him rather quickly.
As we see Katya now making the move on their teammate, who probably was holding them up for a while, but now is clear onto P5. Team Mandarati still 10 seconds behind, but M1K, who remember did have that broken front wing on lap one, is now all over the back of the Ferrari of Tin Mandarati. Can he make a comeback in this race and fight for that win or the top two positions? As we see BK making the move on Surazzle up into P1. But Surazzle, though, fights back almost immediately and still keeps a hold of the lead of the race. These two guys, remember, they have not pit yet. Although they are going side by side into turn four. Not a very good corner to go side by side in, but they keep it clean. BK comes out on top, though.
Yeah, you can tell these two drivers are just fighting out for that position right here. And yeah, you're right. They both have not pit. They're on 10 old laps of medium, so it'll be interesting to see when they want to decide to make that change to that hard tire. But as we could see during that when they were fighting, it also did look like Sweens lost it in the last corner coming up into the final straight as well. So
That is unfortunate, but looks like there's no visible damage in the car, so maybe they can keep it going here. as we see Tin Man the Rowdy and M1K still fighting it out. Tin Man the Rowdy is getting close as Rainbow Demon gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's always a tough one. Of just that 10-second, being able to stop your car, get the to the correct speed before entering that one. That's just such a heavy penalty, and that is a hard one to get past.
Yeah, especially with this game, they've increased the penalty from F123 from 5 to 10 seconds, which was an interesting call in my opinion. But yeah, 10 seconds, that's a big penalty right there. As Surazo goes into the pits, uh, gets to get rid of those medium tires onto a fresh set of the hard compound tires. So it's the Red Bull duo of BK and Sean Boy, a very familiar position for both of them in AM3, 1 and 2. BK does have a 7-second lead to Sean Boy at the moment. As we see Surazzle now. Where do they come out in relation? Oh, big slide there coming out of the pits. Those cold tires really not helping the Alpha or the Kick Sauber driver, but is able to hold the car together, and they're making their way up into turn 4.
Yeah, coming out with those cold tires, you got to be a little bit careful just to make sure you can go bring those up to tire temp. But also, I know you get those anxious vibes that you just want to get back out on track racing. But consistency, and I feel like the calmer you are, the better it'll come out. As you can see, a lot of these drivers have been kind of managing that throughout the race as well.
Yeah, I think so. Surazzle looks like they're 4 seconds behind, or 4.5 seconds behind Tin Man the Rowdy, who, if you remember, pit under the VSC. But more importantly, they're about 18 seconds behind Katya, who pit under the VSC as well, and looks to be the favorite for the race win if it stays like this and we don't get any more interruptions in this race. Sean Boy now goes into the pits on those medium tires, looking to get a fresh set of hard compound tires. So we see Scary Terry now in P3 battling it out with Katya. Katya makes the move, going into turn 1, back into P2, 9 seconds off the lead. It'll be interesting to see what BK does from here on. If there's a safety car now, they can go on the mediums. I think BK would have to go on to his fresh set of hards. But if there's a safety car, Katya would be able to go on to a fresh set of mediums to the end of the race. So that would be interesting. As I say that we do have yellows. I think it's Rainbow Demon has stopped on track. Oh, they lose their front wing as well. Not a very good camera angle too to view this, but no safety car, just yellow, so we're good for now.
Yeah, that was, I feel like, something some of the drivers may have wished for that safety car to be coming out, seeing that car just sideways on the track right there. But unfortunate for the Rainbow Demon right there, because he's going to have to go into the pits yet again, and he has a fresh set of hards on, so that's pretty unfortunate to Rainbow's race.
Yeah, they're about, like, I think they're almost a lap down, unfortunately, at this point. So, yeah, so BK, our race leader, finally pits on to the fresh set of hard compound tires. He was battling with Surazzle for the lead of the race. It will be interesting to see where BK comes out in relation to the Kick Sauber driver. And it looks like BK's going to be ahead. He's going to be well ahead of that pack. He comes out in P3. So his stint, or extending his stint, has turned out great for the Red Bull driver. He is up in P3, with a fresh set of hard tires, 12 seconds behind Scary Terry. Would he be able to make the, or get the gap closed in time? Not too sure, but we shall find out though.
With Scary Terry being on lap 13 old hards right now, and BK being on fresh hards, I think that's a very good possibility for him to be able to catch up there and be able to take that P2 position.
Well, then the next question becomes, will he be able to challenge Katya for the lead of this race? Because remember, Katya pit on like lap 8, 7, something like that. So if we take a look at the tire graphic right here, as we see Tin Man the Rowdy and M1K battling it out, uh, Katya is on 6 lap old hard tires, whereas BK is on a fresh set of hard compound tires, C2 tires. So will he be able to close that or 14-second gap in order to win this race? That's a tall order, but it is possible.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how consistent he is around this track. It looks like he doesn't got many drivers around him to slow him down. So he's just got to focus on his race right now, and make sure he's getting around the track as fast as he can.
Yeah, for sure. As we see uh, BK's teammate Sean Boy making a move on to Razzle, as we have another set of yellows. I believe it's Rainbow Demon as well in Sector 2, but looks like they have got going. As
Ooh, I
McRib
just
gets
saw.
another yellow, not sure. Oh, M1K again. He's round. He's missing a left end plate too. Oh, this is turning out to be a nightmare of a race for M1K. Second wing damage for the Alpine driver. He has to go back into the pits to get a new set of or fresh set of wings rather.
Did he make contact with the wall right there, or did he have contact with the driver?
I am not too sure about that, listener. I wasn't on board with him, so I can't tell you. But yeah, he is missing an end plate though. So as ASAP Loggy is all over the back of M1K now. The Mercedes driver, he was fighting for P2 at one point, but a unfortunate contact with Tin Man the Rowdy has resulted in him I think P9 as Gary Terry goes into the pits and gets himself a 10-second penalty for oh no, another spin for the Mercedes of ASAP Loggy coming out of the final corner. They are now down in P9, no loss of positions, but that is definitely gonna cost him time or any hopes of catching up to, let's say, someone like a Scary Terry right ahead, and probably Paul in Hell or Surazzle.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one right there, and especially with Scary Terry hopping onto this track with a fresh set of softs right now. So I believe that's what he's going to try to go for the rest of the race on these softs, and really just go for the speed right now and hope that these tires start to get old quickly.
Yeah, for sure. As we see Sean Boy and Surazzle battling it out for P4 on the grid. Sean Boy, who just pit onto a new set of hard tires. Razzle has been on those tires for a couple of laps more than the Red Bull driver. Going up into the first DRS zone as Rainbow Demon gets a 10-second time penalty and decides to retire in the pits. Yeah, that was not going well for Rainbow Demon right there. And they decided to end their misery for tonight.
Yeah, that is fair enough. And as we watch, it does look like Sir Razzle is taking the position of P4 over Shamboy right now on the Red Bull. Let's see if he's able to maintain that coming out into this last straight. We do see cautions coming up onto the track, though, at the moment.
I believe that was for Rainbow Damon, who did DNF in the pits, so I think we should be good in terms of any safety cars or VSCs. As we see Sean Boy does make the move and gets back into P4. This battle is probably going to go until the end of the Grand Prix. DK still has a 14-second gap to Katya at the top. Not sure if he's going to be able to catch that. Tin Man Rowdy also 5 seconds behind. He needs to get within 3 seconds though if he wants that P2 position. But yeah, not sure if he'll be able to do that. It's possible, but with the BK coming out with a fresh set of tires, it's going to be a tall order for Tin Man the Rowdy for sure.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a tough one to do, but it's definitely maybe possible for it to happen. But I think it looks like we got the big fight kind of coming in for those P4 and P5 position between Sarazzle, while Katya is kind of just taking the race away.
As we go on board with Smib here, and with Jay, they're finding out for the last points playing positions here tonight with only one DNF. And no incidents on track that resulted in a DNF. So that's at least a testament to these drivers for keeping it clean throughout the race. Although there have been some contacts and wing damages and whatnot, no DNFs, which is always good to see.
Yeah, that's always a good one, especially on a track like this where it is just so fast. So it was good to see all the drivers keep it clean tonight. Um, no
Oh,
DNFs. No.
as Scary Terry and Paul in Hell make contact, and Paul in Hell is around. Not sure what happened to him, or whether it was a result of a contact, but they are able to get going again. So yeah, will be unfortunate if he's not able to get back into the fight with Scary Terry.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Right as I was saying that too. So definitely will hold my tongue next time on that. Hopefully save those drivers from. Oh, and I see a Red Bull in the wall backwards.
Oh, it is Sean Boy, I think. Yes, it is. He has no left end plate. Unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. Not sure what happened to him. Did he make contact with Surazo, maybe? Not sure because they were the ones who were battling it out. Or I know Sean Boy is also going no assists and no line this season, so it could be the case of him missing his breaking point. But yeah, he does not have a front wing, and he needs to make a trip into the pit lane.
Yeah, and it does look like Razzle has front left wing damage, if I'm seeing that correctly, too. So that might have been a little bit of contact between those two drivers right there, and we'll see what they're going to have to do as Razzle goes past the pit um, and decided not to go in to get that changed.
As Scary Terry goes through his teammate who's a lap down. He's now going to be closing in on the kick driver rapidly, especially if he does not have any front wing or parts of his front wing missing. Razzle is in, unfortunately, might drop here. Scary Terry closing the gap by almost 3-4 tenths just in the first sector alone. So yeah, does not look good. Will be interesting to see if Sarasul does decide to go into the pits though. There is a lot of gap between 5 and 6 and then down to Sean Boy in 7th. Sean Boy though, he is driving around with no front wing. You know, kudos to him for still going on, at least.
Yeah, that's hard to be. Oh, I just saw him go straight through a corner, so it's definitely harder to control that car without that front wing. But hopefully, if he keeps it safe, and he might be safe with where all the timing is at the moment, the difference between the drivers. So maybe if he can just stay safe with his penalties, he can keep his position.
As Katya, though, decides to go into the pits weirdly and is now down in P3. So unless they can just motor on here from P3 to P... What's the gap looking like? So it's about 6 seconds to BK. With BK's time penalty, I think they're thinking, yeah, I think I can get the fastest lap as well at this point. So but hopefully this does not backfire with any damage. Sean Boy has retired from the race. Sean Boy has retired.
What has happened to Sean Boy? Okay.
Oh, I think he's retired in the pits. So
Okay.
no safety car. BK still having that position of P1. Katya does make the move on Chinman the Rowdy up into P2. 6.5 seconds or so. The gap to BK. Technically, it's 3.6 seconds though with BK's time penalty. So all to play for still with 5 laps to go after the end of this one.
Yeah, I think they must have thought of getting onto those softs would have just had their best chance of keeping up and having the fastest time around the track. So we'll see if they're able to get catch up with those softs, as it does look like Tim is going to have to be staying behind trying to catch up on those 12 old laps on their hard compound.
if yeah, Katya, I think what they don't want is a battle with Tin Manzarati at this point, because that would really harm their progress. It's still about 3 seconds they need to catch up to BK. So yeah, as Razzle gets a 3 second time penalty, who is also I think he's still missing his end plate. Did not make a trip to the pits. Scary Terry does make the move on Razzle, gets up into P4. As ASAP Logi makes a move on McGrip, gets him up into P9.
It looks like some of these pit changes at the end it might be benefiting some drivers and not. Oh, and it looks like we got wheel to wheel between two of the drivers right there coming out. It looked like ASAP and the Williams right behind.
And M1K was able to benefit out of that, and he's now up into the points playing position, up into P10. As we see, who else? Yeah, this is probably the closest battle we have on grid at the moment. We will wait to see how Katya's progress is uh, towards the lead of the race. They're still in P2 though. 4.8 seconds the gap to BK at the moment. This is a three-way battle for the final points playing positions, or P8, as Katya sets the fastest lap with the race with a 38.35 on those fresh set of soft compound tires.
And look like Witchay is gonna have to do a lot of defending right now with ASAP and M1K right behind him coming into the DRS zone. It looks like they both have that open on him. And we'll see if they're gonna be able to make that pass on Witchay.
Scary Terry gets another 3 second time penalty. Slight contact though between Witjay and ASAP Logi. No harm there though. As they go 3 wide going into turn 1. They're trying to sandwich Witjay, but Witjay keeps them on the outside, defends the inside, and still holds on to P8.
Yeah, that was a great defensive job right there by Witchay, being able to hold both those drivers off. And he's just got to try to save his ERS now to kind of help on those straights, because he's got two cars that are going to have DRS coming right behind him for his position.
Yeah, it probably also tells you what kind of setups these guys are running. I'm assuming Witjay is running probably a lower downforce setup, because even with the DRS, both M1K and ASAP weren't able to make the moves. But ASAP Logi looking to make the move around the outside, going into turn 16. But oh, another contact! Witjay and ASAP Logi, he's had a terrible race in terms of contacts. He has lost his front wing again, third time in this race, and his teammate now takes the position. He will take the position going up to P10. Yeah, he does not have a front wing, so it's probably better for him to let his teammate through at the moment. As we take a look at that replay, ASAP Logi looking to make the move on the outside of Witjay, but they make contact going into turn 16, and ASAP Logi is missing a front wing, or part of his front wing. That is unfortunate for him.
That is very unfortunate back in the track, because they're all fighting for those last couple of points they can get. So I could see in the last 2 laps those drivers they're putting everything out they got right now, and you can still see Witchay and M1K are battling it out right in those corners. M1K is right behind Witchay, so we still might see a good battle between those two right now.
Yeah, as we see a comment from ASAP Logi in the chat, Jesus. So yeah, unfortunate. It's not been going too well. As we see M1K and Witjay finding it out. Similarly, how Witjay and ASAP Logi were fighting it out. Same corner though, but this time M1K is able to take the position off of Witjay up into P8.
Yeah, that was a good overtake. It looked like Witchay had to go off into the open part off the track a little bit right there. So I believe that's what gave M1K the A quick little go ahead right behind, but he's got the Ferrari right behind him with the DRS, overtaking him on the straight. Let's see if M1K is going to retake that position back coming into this main straight as they both come down onto the thing. And it looks like Whitjay just crashed into the wall a little bit and lost the other end of his front plate.
Yeah,
Or
it
that might
looks.
have been M1K.
No, it looks like Wijay is missing his left end plate. That's unfortunate, but M1K does take the position and is probably going to zip through on this, very fast S sections right here in Jeddah to be able to keep up that lead. Yeah, as we say that, he's already opened up a second gap to the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's just once you lose a front wing on this track, it's so hard to keep up speed through some of these high-speed corners. So that is unfortunate for their race tonight.
As we go back up to the top, Katya is catching up BK. They are only 1.9 seconds off of the lead of the race. If they keep it clean, though, they will not need to overtake the Red Bull of BK to be able to win the Grand Prix. But as a driver, you probably want to win it on track. Uh, but yeah, it will be interesting to see what they decide to do as we go into the last lap. May not be enough to win the race on track here for the weak car driver, but it is going to be a fantastic debut, looks like.
Yeah, it's going to look, I mean, that's still an impressive feat of Kata was 6 seconds back when we last were looking and seeing if they were able to catch up, and now they're just under 2 seconds. So it looks like in a couple of more laps they might have been able to catch up to BK, and they just got to play it safe at this point and make sure that they just finish the race. And once they do that, they will get their first win on their debut race. But we'll see what happens in this last 2 sectors.
Yeah, for sure. BK still maintaining that 1.5 or a second over lead as we head into the final sector of this race. Last lap, BK still has the lead. A very familiar position for him, but he might not taste that victory though tonight as Katya is catching up and does not have any time penalties against their name. As we go into the final corner for the last time in this Grand Prix, BK, the Red Bull, is going to win the race on track, but it's Katya who wins in Jeddah on their first race, gets the win based off of a 3-second time penalty before BK. Tin Man the Rowdy does get it home in P3. Scary Terry in P4. Surazzle, even with the wing damage, it actually jumps up into P4 after Scary Terry's time penalties kicked in. VSC Paul in Hell is next across the line. Also jumps Scary Terry and is up into P5. So not a really good race for Scary Terry right there in terms of penalties.
Yeah, those 3 second time penalties tend to is add up very quickly, and as we see the rest of these drivers kind of piling in towards the back with M1K and 8, 9 Whitjay, Goose coming in at 10th place to round out the points for the night.
As we see here, Angel in P11, McRib in P12, ASAP Loggy, who has had a disastrous start to the season. He was the favorite to win in Australia, couldn't win because of strategy, and I think today I'm not sure if it was their mistake or if it was somebody else's mistakes, but they're coming down in P13. Yeah, that wasn't the most funnest race, I would say, but it kept us at the edges of our seats, I think. As as Chu gets driver of the day, even though they weren't in the car for most of the race.
Yeah, it was definitely, I feel like after the first couple of laps, all these drivers kind of got into their little groups on the track, and then you could just tell that the DRS was kind of taking control and getting everybody kind of farther and farther apart. But still, this is a track about being able to maintain that speed around those high-speed corners and just keeping it consistent, and that's what these top 3 drivers did today.
As we see the podium celebrations going on, they're popping up that champagne, having a little bit of a drink to cool down, celebrating with the team. as we see here the final results here from Jeddah Corniche Circuit for from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Katya with the win and the fastest lap of the race on their debut. On in the V carb, BK in P2, Tim and Rowdy in P3 with Razzle in P4, Paul and Hell in P5 with Scary Terry in 6, 2 and 7, M1K in 8 with Jay in 9, and I am my okay, Gustavo in 10th, Angel in 11, McRib in 12, ASAP Loggy in 13th, Sweens in 14, Krevham in 15, Entree in 16, and I'm getting communication issues. Not sure. Okay, Sean Boys and Rainbow Demon, your two retirees, 17 and 18. So, yeah, as we wait to go ahead for the interviews, we will be inviting these three gentlemen into the VC. If you guys can please hold on for a couple of seconds. So, it was, could you please let them know that I'm sending them an invite? Hey, Fragley?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you could please let them know I'm sending them an invite right now. So it was Katya, uh, BK, and Tin Man the Rowdy. Yep, invite should be out, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was like I said, not too much of action on track. A lot of you know, incidents, especially involving ASAP Loggy, unfortunately, and M1K, who would feel like they were the big losers out of tonight's race. Uh, but yeah, still a very fun one, for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun race to watch still, in my opinion. It was interesting to see kind of how these yeah, especially was able to make their way all the way up into that position and kind of show everybody what they're made of for the rest of this season. So I think everybody it's going to be interesting. Everybody looks real tight in speed, so
Yeah, for sure. As we wait for these drivers to get in. As we have Tin Man here, so we shall not waste time for the others to catch on. Uh, so, hey, Tin Man, how's it going?
Doing pretty good, you guys.
Ah, good, thank you. How's the race? Felt like there was a couple of incidents at the start of the race, especially, but felt like it settled down as it went on. Yeah, just describe how you were feeling out there.
For the most part, I felt fine. I got loose in one section. I clipped the curb after or in sector one, and I thought I was gonna lose it, but I just downshifted and caught it. I don't know who was behind me. Actually, it might have been BK. I'm not really sure, but whoever it was, they let off enough and didn't rear end me. So I was like thankful for that. And
Uh,
then the VSC came out the last time. I figured I'd just go ahead and take it and jump in, but my wing was slightly damaged when BK made contact. So I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and take the pit now. Switch to hards and see how long they last, which they managed to last the rest of the race. So.
yeah, I think we saw you lost a little bit of time to the leaders when they pit, especially BK and Razzle. So I'm guessing it was because you had the front wing damage.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah.
So I decided to take an early pit and hope that would work. But BK, he came out right in front of me, and I was like, crap. But I thought it was 3 second thing, and I thought maybe I could reel it in. And then the other dude, he had just came out on Brendan Salt, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to hold him up. It's going to compromise my race and his race if I do.
Yeah. Also, I think at one point I saw you, ASAP Loggy, and not sure who the third person was, but you guys went three wide into the turn right before the second DRS zone, right after sector two, and ASAP Loggy looked like he had damage after that. Do you know what happened there, or was it that like a racing incident or something?
I guess racing incidents. I don't even remember any of that. I don't remember being 3 wide with anybody except on the front stretch when I know it was BK. He was getting a run to the left, and then somebody else was coming to my right, and I didn't have DRS, but they both did, and I was in the middle. That's the only 3 wide situation I remember. So whatever happened there, I don't know.
All right. I think that's about all the questions that I had. Fragley, any questions from your end?
Just kind of with this track, I know with those long DRS straights that they got in there of just like, kind of how was your ERS style? Were you trying to play conservative with that, or kind of what was your go-to with that?
Honestly, I stayed off of it for the most of the time. I tried to use it to defend here and there if I could defend, or at least stay alongside of whoever it was beside me. But for the most part, if people got around me, I would just use it to see myself catch or like to start to pull up to them, and then I would just turn it off. That way, I knew I wouldn't use up my battery because I'm like, I'm not gonna lunge it past them. I'm not gonna try to lock up or dive bomb anybody. I'm just gonna stay right here and just use the next DRS zone to my favor, which I try to do every time, but it didn't work that way every single time. But for the most of it did.
Well, I just want to again congratulate you on that race. That was a fun one to watch, and excited to again see you next week.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I can't wait. Is it Canada, right?
I think we're in Austria next week, if I'm not
Austria.
mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked my teammate, and he said he thought it was Canada. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll ask them and make sure.
Well, don't take my word for it. Go into the schedule and look it up. But I think it's Canada. Sorry, Austria. But yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, good
I'll
luck
be there.
for Austria, and well done on another podium. So congratulations.
Thank you. Plan to get many more.
Oh, for sure. Well, let's go on to our P2 finisher, BK. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, sexy?
Hey, we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
My bad.
Well, P2. How's that? How does that feel? No line, back in AM3, familiar position, P2. Yeah, just describe how the race went for you.
Yeah, it was a little bit unexpected, honestly. I don't really know what I'm doing in here, talking to you guys right now, but yeah, man, crazy times. No line, no assist now, and managed to find a podium in the first race. I think I was pretty lucky that I've done this track on career mode. Most of the others I haven't, so it's kind of got lucky with that. But yeah, overall for the race, it was just good fun, man. Like, obviously, haven't missed all the preseasons. It's the first time actually being back racing this season, so it's just tons of fun to be actually back again. And yeah, just a little bit surprising that once I could actually get into a bit of a groove, I was like, man, I'm actually keeping up with these guys pretty good. So yeah, fair play to Tin Man and to Caddy on their podium as well. Sorry to Tin Man on the damage. I honestly didn't even realize that he had damage on there, but yeah, I don't know. Pretty scrappy in some parts. I missed turn 1 about 3 times and paid the price to lose the win for that, but that's okay. It was still so much fun. Had a ton of fun racing this track.
Yeah, it sure looked like there were a lot of people getting damages and stuff throughout the race, and I think you didn't get any damage, but Sean Boy did. Any idea what happened to him? I'm pretty sure he'd retired because he had no front wing and couldn't drive, but was that what happened to him?
Yeah, he's having a pretty decent race himself as well. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, neither of us were really expecting anything coming into this first ever race with no assist, and just to be able to get to the point that we did when he crashed, we were still pretty happy with that. And yeah, he just had a bit of a slide and couldn't save it. And broke his wing. It's late for him. He was like, yeah, I'm going to bed. So
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but hopefully he'll bounce back. Yeah, back in the podium positions again. You won the race, so can you do that again in Austria? I don't know if you're familiar with that track, but yeah, probably should be easier than Jeddah, at least I think, with the line off.
we'll see. It's a little bit different with the DRS and stuff, but I'm not sure I'll even be able to race next week. So we'll see when we get there. But yeah, hopefully.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Fragley, any questions for BK here?
Just a good race overall. Watching it, really, I just feel like the biggest question just comes from trying to turn all of those assists off. So just, or more of kind of how you answer how you already feel about that. I mean, coming into some of these tracks, are you more conservative, knowing that like, okay, I'm just trying to make it through the track, um, or are you really trying to take advantage of like what that all offers at the end of the day of how much speed that can bring to you in the track?
I think eventually, yeah, I'm trying to build towards the point where I'm taking advantage of having all the assists off, and it's actually like benefiting my speed at a certain point. But yeah, for now, it's mostly just learn the breaking points and try not to kill anyone or myself in the process. And mission accomplished tonight.
Yep, you managed to do that, and especially with the P2. So, congratulations again on that. Excited to see you racing weekly with everybody.
Thank you so much, man, and thank you for the commentary, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you, BK. Congratulations on a well-deserved P2. We do not have our race winner, Katya, in here. Yeah, but I think on behalf of everybody in the comms booth here, at least, congratulations to them on a fantastic victory, getting the fastest lap, a maximum complement of points as well. So, yeah, well-deserved victory for sure. But yeah, I think with that, we can move over to our final thoughts here in a second. So, yeah, if you all can hang on for a couple of seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was everything from round two here from AM3 in contest of speed. Yeah, overall, a pretty not the most exciting races of a race, but we did see a lot of action, a lot of front wing damages and whatnot. Some good qualifying laps as well. Some drama at the beginning of the race, but yeah, I think we came out at the end with a good finish. So yeah, looking forward to Austria next week. Any final thoughts, Fragley, before we head out tonight?
Again, just it was fun watching everybody race. They kept it mostly clean tonight, with not having any real like big safety cars come out or anything. So, I know this is a long, fast track, and coming up with Austria next week, it's going to be a very different style track, I believe, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more close racing. Hopefully next week. So, again, just congratulations to everybody again. Great racing.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to get in on the action, make sure to join the Discord, the community. Links in the chat. It will be at least will be in the chat in a second. Uh, we have three tiers on the American side as well as the EU side. We race at 9 p.m. Eastern from Tuesday to Thursday for the American tiers, and then we race 9 p.m. UK, which is probably 4 p.m. Eastern in EU. So make sure to join the community and sign up, and we can get you started immediately. I believe there's a couple of seats available in a few tiers, so you might be lucky enough to grab one of those. So. Yeah, and next week we're on in Austria for AM3 at this same time next week. So make sure to follow us on Twitch so that you can follow the action uh, with these guys. So yeah, uh, with that being said, good night to everyone, and we'll catch you next week. Ciao.